Anyway, sorry for the inconvenience. The obviously while dealing with the technology and depending on the connectivity, you have to always come across such kinds of problems or the disturbances which we can consider. Anyway, so after going through the sources of the Constitution of India, now you have to look into a matter which is very important, and the case here is the schedules of the Indian Constitution, which are important. In fact, if you consider the overall Constitution, right? So in that particular case, you can have here the altogether or originally, if you consider the Constitution of India consisted uh, 22 different parts into 8 schedules, but later in last 70 years 4 more schedules which have been included. And what I said, most of the times the questions have been asked on these schedules, right? In one of the previous sessions at the time of introduction of the Indian polity and constitution, I said that there was a question in previous question paper about which of the following states are not following or they are not binding to the administration of which schedule, rather for which schedule they are following. So these are the two different questions related to the, see, the same question having two different angles and having two different schedules. So here at this particular point you have to look into the different schedules and what these schedules are doing, right? So altogether, as I said, there are 12 different schedules, right, which are divided into let's say which are having 22 different parts, right? If you consider the Constitution of India is having certain number of articles, and all these articles are divided into the 22 different parts, and obviously there are uh, 12 different schedules. So what these schedules are, right? So that will be the case which we can consider, right? So in schedules you will be having in detail about it, right, which are uh, which are the part of the Constitution. So very first thing here is the first schedule. So you have to look into the first schedule. So according to this schedule, what is there in this schedule? So there are the names of the states, right? You know, there are 28 different states and 8 union territories, right? So the names of states and their union territories, along with the demarcations, right? So the demarcations of uh, the demarcations of what we can consider the union territories. So names and the states of the union territories along with their demarcation. So this is in the first schedule. Apart from this, if you consider here the jurisdiction of that particular states and the union territories, right, which we can consider is also there, right? Second thing here is the second schedule. So the provisions related to the salaries, emoluments, right, allowances, privilege, right, and so on, of whom, first thing of president, right, then governors of state, then the speaker and deputy speaker of Lok Sabha, the chairman of Rajya Sabha, chairman and deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, the and speaker and the deputy speaker of the legislative assemblies, right, in the different states, then the chairman and deputy chairman of the legislative council in the states, the judges of the Supreme Court, the judges of the high courts, the comptroller or the comptroller and auditor general of the India, right? So altogether here you can consider, right, as I said, so this is the thing which is necessary, right? So here you can have the provisions in the second schedule about the salaries, emoluments, allowances and privileges to these different things, right? Including the president of India, the governors of the states, right? So these are the things which we can consider in the schedule second. So these are the things. Now, what do you have to understand in this particular case? So you have to understand these are the things which are included in which schedule, and you have to always remember these things because these are the basis of your question, right? So that will be always forming a base of your question. So depending on these, the questions will be asked. Now, third schedule which we can consider, right? So this schedule is related to the forms of oath or the affirmations. Now, who is taking the oath? So you know, Prime Minister is taking the oath, ministers, union ministers are taking the oath, then the candidates or the members of parliament, both member of Lok Sabha and member of Rajya Sabha, right? They are also taking the oath. Then the judges of the Supreme Court are also taking the oath. Comptroller is also taking the oath, right? Then the state ministers, chief minister is also taking the oath. The state ministers are taking the oath, right? The candidates for the legislation, MLAs, right? As like MPs, the MLAs are also taking oath. The members of the state council, right? Vidhan Parishad, Vidhan Sabha. So these are also taking the oath. The judges of the high courts, these are also taking the oath. So this whole oath ceremony, or what is the criteria, what should be included in this, right? So the forms of oath shapath, and the affirmations of members of these, all these whatever we have considered here, right? So these are the things which are very important, and this is included in the third schedule, right? So we do have these things, right, in the third schedule. In fourth schedule, the allocation of the seats in the Rajya Sabha to the states and the union territories, right? So we have also considered the allocations of seats, right, to the states and union territories in the Rajya Sabha. So how they are depending on that we have also considered, right? But this is included in the fourth schedule, which we can consider, right? Then you can go for the fifth schedule. So the provisions which are related to the administration, right, of let's say administration and control of the scheduled areas and scheduled tribes, right? So scheduled areas and scheduled tribes are the provisions related to administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. So what this mean, right? Yeah, as I said, fine. So these are the things which we can consider, right? I will explain it with along with the sixth one. So in sixth one, so again it is related to the provisions relating to the administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So what it is, right? It is exactly what I said in one of the previous sessions. So in that case, I have said that you have to always consider the administration of the tribal areas in the northeastern states, right? Or if you consider these eastern states, right? So whose administration, right, of the tribal areas, and as well as the administration and control of the scheduled areas and the scheduled tribes. So these are the two things. For example, so we do in fact we are not having that kind of thing, but nearby to Maharashtra. So if you consider the Chhattisgarh, right? So they are having the tribals, right? So there are आदिवासी भाग आहे आपल्याकडे आहे फार फार so the administration of this, for example, if you consider someone is getting the job at Gadchiroli, right? Suppose, for example, PSI. So he's getting higher salary there than in any other part of the Maharashtra, because some of the administration tools are uh, am I audible? Because I got the message. Anyway, so this is the difference between these two. So according to fifth schedule and according to sixth schedule, so whatever maybe the administration and control is being done by or accordingly the fifth schedule, right, in the rest of the India, and the same kind of administration, but only for the four states: Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura. Right. So these are the different things. So many a times the question has been asked. See, on sixth schedule, very first in one of the previous exams, the question was which of the following states are following the administration and control. Right. So here you will be having the names of the states. Right. For example, Assam is there, Nagaland is there, West Bengal is there, and let's consider Sikkim is there. So obviously, answer is the Assam. Second thing, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and dash dash among the following is following the administration and tribal administration and control of the tribal areas according to the sixth schedule, right? And obviously, you will be having the four options such as again West Bengal, Sikkim, Nagaland, and Mizoram. So your answer will be Mizoram. Again, which of the or these four names will be given, and these are following or the administration and control of these tribal areas is according to which schedule of the constitution. So there will be fifth schedule, sixth schedule. So very first in this question, I think the same question has been asked once a while. For the same question, very first option will be the fifth schedule, right? And then there will be the sixth schedule, right? So that could be the, or let's say any other name will be there. So you have to be always, or once a while the question has been asked, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram are not following the administration and control of the tribal areas of which of the following schedule. So their sixth schedule will not be there. Their fifth schedule will be always one of the options. And here question is not following, right, instead of following. So not following means in the whole country, right, there is they are following it, right? So by and large every time the question is being on these two schedule, and the uh, what we can consider the format of that particular is in this way. Then you will be asking that, sir, you have emphasized much more on fifth and sixth schedule. What about for first four schedules? So understand here, right, that we are entering into